even further than that, what's some of the hardest part in dealing with the business, in coming to grips on certain things that you didn't understand when you was 20 years old, or, you know, straight out of high school and doing your thing until now?
To me, I would say publishing, and we didn't know about it. At the first go around, we didn't make a nickel.
Yeah, we didn't know shit about the business. We were just some creative guys that got together and did something amazing. But once we started understanding the business, you know, that's when we started realizing how much bullshit comes along with it. And for me personally, the hardest part was probably separating myself from the bullshit. You know what I mean? Having to stand up for myself and separate myself from the bullshit. So I would say, yeah, that would have to be the hardest part for me.
You know, to me, the hardest part is just dealing with the business aspect. You know, that's just the most boring and fucked up part of the game.
Right.
It's fun to make records. It's fun to be in the studio with your homies, coming up with shit. It's fun to get on stage. The business part sucks.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's always a lesson. It's always awkward. You know what I mean? And it's always some shit you ready to get rid of and get back to being creative. So
yeah, but you got to do it. You got to do it, because if you don't, the creative part is going to lack. You know,
and it can ruin relationships.
Yeah. So the business is the worst part of the game.
The best part is making the music.
Making the music and making the money.
That's the best part.
Yeah, nothing that I've ever felt in my life, other than anything to do with my family, feels better than having a hit record out. Every artist out there will agree with that. Having a hit record, it's like, that's the ultimate high.
3 o'clock in the morning, I want some Chick-fil-A.
My ducks, my swans, welcome to the pond.
My name is Dorian from Group82Music.com, and right here we got NWA telling Kendrick Lamar the hardest part about being an artist. Ice Cube, DJ Yella, MC Ren, Dr. Dre, the remaining members of NWA, the living members of NWA, rest in peace, Eazy-E. Shout out to Arabian Prince, who was an associate. DLC was an associate, but those are the 4 main guys that are still around. They said the hardest part about being an artist is the business side. And I don't really agree. The reason I don't agree is because the business side is where you get paid. And who doesn't like getting paid? The business side can be just as creative and can be just as fun as the music side. Now, when you're making music, it's a very spiritual experience, right? You're tapping into emotions and going in places and sitting in frequencies that only exist when you are creating art. It's a beautiful thing. But that's not real life. That's not reality. That's not somewhere you could just sit and lay forever. And I think a lot of artists think that. Like, that is something that they need to just do all the time. You cannot be productive if you sit and just lay in that frequency of art all day, every day. You can't do that. You have to come back to the real world. When you're an artist, you have the luxury and the gift of making music, to take yourself there, to give yourself a high that other people would die to have at any given moment. That's a gift, but you have to be responsible with that gift. And the way you're responsible with that gift is making sure you're doing everything on the business side so you have the luxury to do that with that gift whenever you want to. Y'all been following me for a little bit. You know I've really been focusing on digital marketing, Group 82 Media, and talking about business a lot. Why? Because I am building up equity in my business, brand equity with you guys, saving money, investing money, building a nice nest egg. So the next time I'm like, you know what? I want to go make music for 2 months. I can do that. The business can run and finance my entire life. I don't have to worry about if my family's going to be okay. All of our bills are going to be paid up. I'm going to still be able to save. I'm going to still be able to invest. I'm going to still be able to spend money on whatever the fuck it is I want to, because I'm building that right now. The business is absolutely necessary for you to do the creative side. If you don't take care of the business side, you're going to get fucked by the business side. You can't ignore it. You can't make music and be in the music business and not know the music business. You can't do it. If you just want to make music and live in that meditative frequency of spirituality that comes when you make music, then just make music and perform that shit on the street corner. And you can do that every goddamn day. But if you want to be in the music business, You want to get streams. You want to get fans. You want to sell merch. You want to do shows. You want to get publishing checks. For those of you that have gotten syncs, if you want to be involved in all of that, you have to understand the business. There's no way around it. You can't cut corners in this shit. Anybody tries to cut corners gets fucked. That's why you see all these artists crying that they don't own their masters, or they don't own their music, or their label doesn't do nothing for you, because you didn't care about the business side. If you cared about the business side as much as you cared about twerking, if you cared about the business side as much as you cared about writing dope ass hooks and talking shit and killing niggas on records, if you cared about the business side as much as you cared about fucking groupies at shows, you wouldn't be getting fucked out of your money. Do you want to get fucked out of your money? I don't want to get fucked out of my money. I'm not going to get fucked out of my money. That's why I dedicate myself to learning the business side. That's why I dedicate myself to being an independent artist and knowing everything I can about digital marketing. That's why I pride myself on being able to talk directly to my fans, getting paid directly by my fans, and I ain't got to go through no third party. That's what happens when you learn the music business. You cut out the middleman. What business doesn't want to cut out the middleman? From the dope game to Amazon. Who doesn't want to cut out the middleman? Everybody does. Learn the business so you don't get fucked out of your money like everybody else has. If you want to support independent artists, you want to start getting money from your music, you want to start getting streams, click the link in the bio. Purchase my album True Support right now, and I'll add you to our playlist. That costs $249 for free. I'm Dr. Pod. Y'all stay true.
Group82music.com.